My name is Bill Ramsey, and this is my story. It's a story of a nightmare that lasted for 9 years. It's a story that made the tabloid press call me the Werewolf of Southend. This is the way they told the story, and this is the way I want to tell my side of things. The problem first began in 1981. He was coming back from Billericay in the works van. I was sitting in the back, and suddenly I started to snarl and growl at them, even try to bite one of them. They thought I was mucking about, and I didn't really know what was happening to me. I just made out that I had been. Nothing else happened for a couple of years, till one day in December 1983, I suddenly started to get some severe chest pains, and I was concerned it might have been my heart. So I brought myself here to the hospital and sort of had to check them out. Well, while I was in the process of running some tests, taking my pulse, blood pressure, I let out a growl and started to snarl at the nurses and even bit one of them, and so they had to sedate me, and they called the police, who then rushed me off to Werewolf Hospital. I never used to remember anything during the attack, so I just sort of blacked out. And the worst nightmare of it all was waking up and thinking, oh God, what have I done this time? Have I hurt anybody? The feelings prior to attack were too devilish to try to explain to anybody. They just sort of, your stomach tearing apart, and the painful feeling of rage and anger that build up inside you. You can't describe it to anybody. It's too much to describe. I had a rather bad attack in July 1987, and the police had to lock me away in a cell.
I was inside the police station when I heard the call for assistance. I came out and I saw Sergeant Fisher actually on the ground with his back close to the wall, with Bill Ramsey sitting on his chest with his hands around his throat. I called for further assistance, and it took about 5 or 6 officers to restrain Ramsey and to get him under control. Ramsey was actually placed in the cell, and he was no trouble for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. Then he started to make banging noises. Officers came to see what the problem was. It was then discovered that Ramsey had actually got his head plus his arm and shoulder through this aperture and was striking out at the officers. What in actual fact he'd done, his hands were formed in the shape of a claw, and every time somebody came anywhere near the cell door, he would make a lunge at them. And at this time he was also curling his lips and growling. Bill Ramsey's conduct at this time was so violent that the police surgeon was called, and he administered an injection. Bill Ramsey continued thrashing out with his arm through the aperture of the door, and it took another injection given by the doctor before he was in fact subdued. The fire brigade, having been called also, then soaked him with soft soap, and it took 4 firemen and 2 policemen, quite considerable effort, to get him out, his head and his shoulders, through this hole.
And it was after this attack that the national press got hold of the story and started to ban the word werewolf about all over their front pages.